Hi, Paras. It's good to see you after a long time.
Hello, same here, same here.
So I just want to know your ideas and your thoughts on food tourism in Nepal, on which we are working. Okay. So if you could just start with a brief introduction about yourself for all of us.
Sure. Okay, well, I am Paras Dahal. I am born and brought up in Nepal. So I completed my studies here till plus two. So I went to India for my further studies for bachelor's. I got a scholarship from government of India. So I studied there hotel management for 3 years at IHM Hajipur. Then I went for my job to Trident Jaipur, where I did my job for 1.5 years around. Then I came back to my country, my motherland, and I started doing job here at Dwarika's Hotel, Kathmandu, which is renowned and one of the oldest hotel. So currently, I am working as a chef at professional chef at Dwarika's Hotel, Kathmandu,
Okay.
and
So
and also I am teaching, and also I am an instructor, chef instructor at Pacific Hospitality and Culinary Academy, which is also located at Kathmandu, where I am currently present.
great. So finally we have someone who is good in teaching as well as experienced guy with for our interview. So you have an
Yeah,
experience
I
with
think so.
Oberoi's and a local like Nepal properties, right?
It is also a chain property in Nepal, but it is not international. But in Nepal, it has many restaurants as well as hotels chains. Dwarika's hotel. It is very much renowned hotel in Nepal.
So okay, it's great. I can see that you are a chef, right? So which is your favorite dish in Nepal? What will you recommend us to try?
Uh, See, Nepal has very much diversity in culture as well as geography and everything. So there are many food that you can have here. But one of the favorite and one of the unique and the dish that you can only have at Nepal is gundruk and dido, which is very traditional, but still very nice, and it will be unique to the people who come from another country to visit Nepal. Gundruk and dido.
Okay. So what is it actually?
Okay, so I can describe this. Gundruk means the legumes, for example, it may be the baby mustard plants, or it may be spinach, or it may be the radish leaves. They
Mhm.
are fermented first, and then after they are dried. And they are boiled with a bit of seasoning, so it is very tasty. And dido means a kind of mass, just like the mashed potato, but it is a mass of the powdered grains. For example, it may be a maize flour, it may be wheat flour, it may be generally millet flour. So they are boiled into water, and then they are mashed very properly so that there are no lumps in it, smooth, and they are eaten together. So it is
Okay.
traditional but really yummy.
Okay. So being a chef, you must have visited most of the restaurant in Nepal to just to explore and to know their dishes and specialty. Could you name us few of your favorite restaurant in Nepal that we should visit if we can ever come to
Yeah,
Nepal?
sure. First and foremost, I like the most is my own restaurant where I work here, Krishnarpan restaurant at Dwarika's Hotel, Kathmandu. It is the oldest restaurant in Nepal. It has a history of more than 40 to 50 years, and it is a traditional Nepali restaurant. So you can have the special Newari speciality as well as Tamang, the food of different tribes.
Hmm.
And this is the very good restaurant where you can have the pure and the traditional Nepali food, as well as there is a restaurant Toran, which is also located at the same hotel, which is the one of the best fine dining restaurant where I work. Where you can get Italian as well as Nepalese, and outside the and inside the valley in city, you can also go to Tirsara, which is located at Darbar Marga, and there are many more.
Okay.
So
I
you
guess
can go to the Rocks restaurant here at Hyatt Hotel, Rocks restaurant, which is traditional Italian restaurant. So it is also famous for Italian food at Nepal. which is located at Hyatt Hotel in Kathmandu.
Okay, so what will you actually recommend us to dine in a five-star hotel or to try the street food? What is the basic specialty that we have in Nepal?
See, Nepal has a food influence of Nepalese food are influenced by their culture. So generally, the street food are not so famous here. Yeah, there are street foods, but the cultural influenced Nepalese food are most famous in Nepal. For example, you can have Thakali food at a Thakali restaurant. You can have Newari food at Newari restaurant. But the street food are not so famous. So I would recommend to go to a restaurant which is famous, which has a good speciality of Nepalese culture, and there you have some Nepalese food. It would be better.
Okay, great. So, being a chef, how would you describe the Nepalese cuisine in three word, if you would ask for?
Okay, so it is very difficult to describe Nepalese cuisine in three words, but yeah, I would like to try. It may be unity in diversity.
Mhm.
Unity in diversity means there is even there are so many cultures, there's so many tribes, there are geographical differentiation between so many people, but still we have a unity. We have same spices, we have same kind of foods, and we love. Just like the people living in Tarai region in Nepal, in one corner of Nepal, can go to mountain and get the same food. So I would like to say unity in diversity.
Okay, that's impressive. Uh, just want to know, actually, Nepal is more known for its beauty and its places to visit, although it has got a unique cuisine in itself. So, what do you think the government need to improvise or to put something forward in order to get it global recognition?
Yes, government is trying in its best. Government was launching the Visit Nepal 2020 this year, but due to the COVID-19, it was not successful. But
Mhm.
yes, it was launching a program where Nepal government had estimated around 20 lakhs or more tourists that can visit to this country this year. And also government has is organizing the government has organizes various programs. For example, it has organized the international tourist international food conference, international tourist conference, as well as it has also promoted the domestic tourism, and also the government has government has also formed the Nepal Tourism Board has also formed different tourism offices, new open tourism offices in different sector, different region of Nepal, as well as it is also promoting the Nepali food. But I think it is comparatively in looking the different sectors, different industry, government has not provided the sufficient infrastructure, sufficient manpower, as well as sufficient budget to the tourism industry to promote it.
So, you think government need to work more on the budgets, the tourism budget
Yes,
and
yes,
tourism
yes, yes,
manpower,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Government need to open more hotels. Government need to make different more roads, more beautiful road that can reach to the different places in Nepal, because Nepal has a bit difficult geography. I mean, there are so many mountains, hills, so it is difficult to make road. But still, there are so many places that tourists go on a trek for 7, 8, 10 days and reach the destination. They enjoy their day and they come back walking 4, 5 days down the hills. So still, if we can provide some roads, some infrastructure, some hotels there, then the tourism will automatically be promoted and increase in Nepal, I think.
Yeah, I heard about the earthquake that Nepal has faced a few years back, right? And they have come
Yes, yes.
they come back pretty good now, right?
Yes, yes. Government has reconstructed all the monuments. Nepal is very much rich in monuments because Nepal is a place where only in Kathmandu Valley, which is around, it has the area of 665 square kilometer, I think. Here are 7 UNESCO World Heritage Site, Natural World Heritage Site, only in 665 square kilometers. So, and also Nepal has UNESCO has listed Nepal's three more places. For example, Chitwan National Parks, and as well as the Sagarmatha, the birthplace of Gautam Buddha Lumbini. So there are so many places, and which were destructed in this earthquake. So Nepal has reconstructed, then has allocated some budget to again to re-implement the things and to promote the tourism. Yes, it has done its best, I think.
Yeah, that's very nice. I want to know, do you really think Nepal has got a scope for food tourism, or it just about adventurous and traveling tourism that it has?
See, till date, Nepal's food tourism is not so famous because the food here are not advertised well. The food here are not well known to everybody in this around the globe. But still, the food tourism is growing on itself. But yes, the adventure is the most beautiful factor, I think, of Nepal, that many of the tourists come here. See, before I am not sure in the date, but it was around 1960s or before 1960s. The ashes and marijuana were legal in Nepal. So Nepal, that time, many of the tourists came here to enjoy the mountains, to have some marijuana, to enjoy their holidays. To they came for honeymoons as well. So that time, the food they tasted, they influenced something, they advertised it. So after that, Nepal's food industry is slowly growing in itself. And also, I like to recommend the name of a chef who is very good and very much impressive, and I'm proud to be a Nepali. He is Mr. Santosh Shah, who is selected for his finals at MasterChef UK. He's promoting Nepali food very well. He has made a Nepalese dessert, yomari, on his semi-finals, which was really good, and such a unique food. Very nice. We have so many unique food, unique ingredients that you cannot see in the most of the common restaurants around the globe. So yes, we need to advertise them. We need to advertise our food. We need to take it out to the market. It has a scope. It has very much potential, but still, uh, it's a little backwards.
Yeah, I do remember when a few years back we were together in the college. You guys made up something with the mashed potato, and that was actually very tempting. I do remember that.
It was not mashed potato. It was pickle, potato pickle, which was not common there in India, but it
Yeah,
is very much common in Nepal. And
yeah,
it has also the cultural influence. We prepare it in the death anniversary of our ancestors.
okay.
It is a religious food.
But that was actually
It was
very nice
tasty
and
though.
delicious. Yeah, I do remember, Paras. I do remember that. Okay, I'm just curious. You have already worked in India as well as in Nepal. So, what do you think? What is the difference in the work culture?
Woke culture.
Yeah.
So
Other than
see,
that, sorry to interrupt you. One more thing. You guys have similarity with the Indian food, right? The festivals and the Indian food are very common.
so many.
Yeah. So, what is the actual thing that you think is the key thing that
Yes,
differentiate
yes.
Indian
I can
and
tell
the
you. I can tell you that.
Nepali food?
I can tell you the Yes, I
Sure,
can
sure.
tell you
Go
the
ahead.
major differences. Though there are so many similarities in Nepalese food as well as Tibetan food. See, Nepal is a landlocked country which is surrounded by India and China.
Yeah.
So it has the influence of both Indian as well as Tibetan food, Chinese food. I mean, so the most of the people in the lower belt are more influenced by the Indian spices, Indian food culture, and most of the people in the upper ranges, for example, mountains, are influenced by their Chinese food because of the availability of the ingredients. So the major difference is all the spices, see, cloves, cardamom, bay leaves, and everything, the oil that we use, they are almost similar in India and Nepal. The
Hmm.
mustard oil, soybean oil, um, everything is similar, but the major difference is Nepalese food are a bit less spicy than Indian food. They are a bit less spicy, and the gravy of Indian food, the Indian food has a lot of gravy. They make it
Yeah,
more thicker,
yeah,
and
you're right.
Nepalese have a practice to eat the food which is less thicker, with less gravy, with
Okay.
less spices. So the major difference is that. Otherwise, the process and the techniques are almost same. Yeah, we have some uniqueness in our food. We have some uniqueness, unique foods of ourselves, and we have some unique signature dishes of India as well. But yes, the major difference is the gravy, the thickness of food, and the spices they are used. The quantity of spices, the spices are the same, but the quantity of spices they are used, and everything. Otherwise, we eat same dal, we eat same rice, we eat same roti, everything we eat the same. But yes, we make it differently.
Okay. Another thing I would like to ask is that what do you think is the strength and the weakness of Nepal in development of food tourism?
Okay, so the strength and weaknesses. See, the strength of Nepalese people is their diversity. The major strength is the in food is their diversity, so
Mhm.
that the food have a different influence according to their geographical condition, and diversity in tribes, diversity in culture, diversity in religion. See, here are Khas peoples who eat dal bhat. Here are some. Tamangs and some the upper ranges people who eat chow mein, momos, noodles, and thukpas. And here are some people of the lower belt who generally eat roti. So the diversity have also a great influence in different food culture of Nepal, as well as the another strength is the another strength of Nepalese people is they have also the unity in their food. They also, although they have their different tribes, different culture, they have some common food. For example, gundruk and dhido is common here. The
Mhm.
spices are almost the same. It is provided in almost the same areas here. And the weaknesses is the weakness of Nepalese food is they are not promoted, they are not advertised, they are not easily available. The geographical condition is so worse that even there are no road in such hilly places where you can get very much good ingredients. For example, you may not have heard the name of timilo. You may not have heard the name of koirala. I also don't know the English name of these food. I also searched, but I didn't find it in internet. We may have some English name, but
Mhm.
still, these food are I have never seen. I have worked in India in different places. I worked in Goa. I went for training. I worked in Jaipur. I worked in Bihar as well. But but I didn't see these ingredients, which are very famous in Nepal, but still not advertised. This is the weakness that we are not able to advertise our own food. So the taro leaves. Do you have some? Have you ever had a curry of a taro leaf? Do
No,
you know
never.
taro leaves?
No.
Taro tubers. We have so many ingredients in Nepal that are not easily available in the market. So
Mhm.
this is the weakness that we are not able to provide it, and the strength is the diversity, the beauty of nature, and yes, and the temperature as well, that we can get most of the spices in a small place.
Yeah, so we can see that Nepal has got a lot of unique ingredients and unique dishes that you have there in
Yes.
Nepal. So if you will get the opportunity, uh, so if the Nepal government is basically, if you get the opportunity, they can get it the global recognition, and this is going to be at some other level because this is something which is nowhere. What I think. So
Yes, yes, yes.
what points you would like to add so that these dishes could be more recognized? Because at least in the neighboring countries like Tibet and China, you should
Yes.
promote so that they could be more well known.
Yeah, this may I think that this is happening because Nepal is so economically backward. The Nepalese people are not so rich that they can open their own Nepalese restaurants around the globe. They can open their own businesses. See, so for that reason, government should provide the loan. Government should provide some concessional loan to them. Some should relieve their tax incentives so that the Nepalese people can get a loan easily. They can they can open the restaurants, Nepalese authentic Nepalese typical restaurant around the globe, so that they can cook their own food. They can, so government should provide an import export facilities so that they can provide their ingredients to other places. For example, I am telling you, Nepalese people buy apple from China, but China and India, but the apples that are grown in Nepalese hills are decayed there, and they have no use of it because they don't have road to supply in Kathmandu. So for that reason, it is very difficult for Nepalese people to take their foods, take their ingredients to different countries. So Nepalese government, I think they should try their best. They should make some chain. They should make some link so that they can import export the ingredients in different countries. They can open their own restaurants. They can have some chef competitions. For example, I gave you an example of a chef who had the love of his country in his heart, so that he is preparing the Nepalese authentic typical food in United Kingdoms, and now it is gradually recognized by the people around the globe. So these kind of activities are most important, I think.
Okay, great. So, do you have anything in the mind, a food tourism plan that could be, sorry, I mean to ask, do you have any example of potential travel that could be organized around the food?
Yes, there are so many potential travels that can be around in this field. For example, you can have you can have some potential travel. Sorry. Would you ask me your question once more?
Uh,
Potential travels, right?
yeah, potential travel.
Okay. So see, Nepal is trying to bring so much of tourists in Nepal, like tourists, so that they can live here, they can see the culture, they can have the food, and they can go. So for that reason, it is also organizing different international tourism conferences. So Nepal has also established a Safe Association Nepal uh, organization, which generally promotes the Nepalese food, so that the people can come here, so that the people can enjoy the food. There are different exhibitions, Nepalese food exhibitions, which is conducted by the Chef Association Nepal, so that the people can travel here. Uh, People can come here, people can taste it, and they can also promote. They can advertise the food as well. So yes, and also we can also have an exhibition of the Nepalese unique ingredients that can be promoted, that can be seen by most of the people, that they can use it in their own restaurants. And yes, I think that can be done to promote the food tourism.
Mhm. So, do the Nepali government has any plan after the COVID to relaunch the food tourism?
Yes. Nepal in 2019, Nepal had 1.2 million of visitors, and they generated $2.2 million revenue in tourism, which is around 7.9% of the GDP of Nepal. See,
Very
and
impressive.
around 6.7% of the Nepalese are involved. They are employed in tourism, but so due to this COVID, the 80% of everything has been declined. So for that reason, Nepal government has made a tourism recovery task forces. The Nepal Tourism Board and some private organizations has merged themselves, and they have made a tourism recovery task force, so that they can recover the losses that have been made. And also the Nepal is providing some concessional loan to the big investors in tourism field, as well as they are also giving some response to the tax incentives, as well as there are some immediate monetary relief to the investors there, which are involved in this tourism field. So yes, Nepal is doing its best, but because it is not so rich and not so well organized political situation, it is very difficult in Nepal to recover, I think.
Okay, Paras, that is it from my side. Thank you for giving your precious time. It is great to have your ideas on our project. Okay, we will.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was trying to give my best. See, if there are any confusions, anything that you guys are having, anything, you can have my email ID and my phone number. You can call me anytime. You can mail me anytime. I'm ready to help you guys.
Thank you, Paras. Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you. Nice.